Whoever was in the hall is afraid of the Galen attack. Jin tells me, what is this? Against hell, the skeletons are fighting Gillen with its clans attacking. Song Senbei, Al-Gailan, but Jin says, I was watching him fighting and running away, but this boy was able to eliminate them so easily. Song Senbei says, prevent them from escaping by stairs. The skeletons go to fight them. Song says, your good work, and continue to prevent them. Song Senbei says in himself, if the rest sees that these skeletons are under my control, they will make sure that I can lead them in this position, and then I can lead them to defeat the leader. According to the rules of the game, if we want to defeat the leader, then cooperating together is the safest way. Logo from the system. The special effects used currently the skill of harmony. The effects increase the rate of critical strikes by 10%, and increase the amount of gold currencies obtained by 10%. The tool used is the Spirit of Wild effects. Increase the strength of the attack 10%, and increasing the speed of the attack by 20% to follow from the Gailan race. Song says, in himself, using a statistics increased statistics and a wild spirit bracelet. Al-Gailan does not pose any threat to me, but this world does not only contain the Gailan. Certainly, I will meet stronger monsters in the future. One of the students says, is this boy currently controlling the skeletons? Minsua answers, this is what it seems to. Like one of the girls. She says this is comfortable. But who is this boy from any section? He says one of them seems to be a person who grows up from the creative writing section. The fighting ends. Everyone is happy. One of them says this boy depends on him. How is a person like this in the creative writing section? Fortunately, one of the girls says, there is a person with this skill and strength between us. Song goes to inspect what the Galen leaves behind, saying that there are no tools that the regular monsters will not fall any tools. Notice from the regime. I got the rolling wheel ticket for killing 20 monsters. You are the 34th person in the date that gets the absolute evaluation. Only 100 people can obtain it. Song says the rotating wheel. I do not have a store even where I got it. He goes after the fighting and says how the fighting was, in your opinion. Lee Jin Senbei. Were you useful? For you, for me, a Jin, shame. And he could not answer. Everyone who was in the place gathering, says Song Senbei. All of you have seen the message at the front door, so you know that it will not open without removing the magic seal on the door. The girls say, then what should we do? Is there another way out from here? The solution says in the letter on the front door, somewhere in this building there is a leader of monsters. What we must defeat out of here is only 2 hours left for us. We must defeat the leader of the monsters inside the building. During this time, if we are not able to defeat it, I do not know what the consequences will be, but of course, it will be dire. Since he is the leader of the monsters, it will definitely happen. Terrible. One of the students says he is afraid. I have seen this monster before. Yes, I saw the leader of the monsters when I was smoking on the roof. I suddenly saw a very huge monster, eliminating my teacher in front of my eyes. He says to himself on the surface, it seems that we have set the goal. Will anyone else will join us? All students think about themselves and some are afraid of monsters, he says. Of course, no one will join, even if you can give them hope. The opponent is the leader of the monsters. It will be difficult to convince them of this. Hanho says that I can also stay here. Song says, of course. You cannot be present in order to increase the statistics of skeletons. Hanho says, if I will give you my dagger, but Song will refuse to do so. She appears and says, even if the leader fights us, I do not think that you expect what we can defeat it as well. Well, in fact, we are here in the hallway, with unpopular people, and this bother me. Look at these people. What is useful? Take them with us, if the skeletons are more beneficial than them. The jackets Yun, Jisoo are 3 stars. Song says, no one knows how strong the leader seems to be, his risk. It is fresh to Lee Jin and says, what about you answering me? Jin, well, I think it is better to stay here. One of them must stay and protect the rest of the students. Song Senbei says, well, then be of vigilance and protect them well. Since we do not know how much time we need to defeat the leader, let us go to him now directly. Then go to the upper floor, to the surface, wherever they are ascending. The skeletons go to eliminate them, but he says to the rest of the team, both of which are in dealing with those behind us. Yoon Jeso fights them with her sword and eliminates them. After that, they wake up to all Gale Song tells them, come to us, to continue ascending to the top. They find the professor injured. Song, professor, says how this happened. The professor answers all the students of the department in Dabi. It is my fully mistake. The professor is affected by what happened. Song says, please, professor. You can tell us what happened, professor. Thanks to you. I managed and I stayed for the students from escaping to the research room first. And since we were unable to stay there for a longer period, we went to the roof. I only followed the instructions of the emergency guide. So I insisted on going to the surface. There, we found a more horrific monster, and all the students who followed me with blindness. He cries and says, Song, and go there. Please do not go. Song is hardly attached to the regime's exceptional task. Take the revenge of the murdered professor or ignore the goal of the mission. The mission prize is an exceptional skill. Deer dies in front of your eyes. You made you feel guilty during the pronouncement of the latter. For a person like you, he has the power to control the dead. You can take a pimples by killing a monster leader, or you can simply about death, your miserable professor. Your choice. You must follow the time specified in the message on the door of the building. Your choice will determine your destiny. Song, destiny means something like a turning point. Yes. Why? Why should we go through all this suffering? Really, if we go to the surface, then go to the surface. I feel the regime. You entered the area of the monsters. Looking at the roof, finds it destroyed and gathered the students killed from Galen. Hanho looks at Galen and is afraid. He says, my God, this is my colleague at the school, Yoon. Jeso is upset with the scene and says these monsters says Song. Let's let us a little and think about the reason we go through all this in the end. All of this happened because we are weak to Gothis. Explains that we must become the most powerful. Galen preparing for his striker. Song and his group, Hanho Senbei says, tell me, find a way you can escape from all this time. Song says, both we will fight this time with a greater warning. That activates the essence of the wilderness points from the system. The essence of the wilderness has been activated. During the next 10 minutes, the next skills will be acquired. Increase the accommodation of the spray strategies. 10% increase the speed of the attack. 20%. The skeletons attack voices and fight them with immigration, Song says to his group. They considered the skeletons shields for you. Hanho is afraid of the goblins. The cursing says, I did not choose this vigor specialization. I thought it was a useful specialization, but it is useless. But he decides to attack the daggers, which affects the impure Sahi. I am good in such things, is it not? He throws all the daggers on the goblins and afflicts them. He says I found it. I found my strength. Notice from the regime, the mobilization of the sprites is decreasing due to the smell of death. The first level is the skill level decreases at a rate of 30%. The leader of the sprites shows a notification from the regime. The sprites attack on the group. Song kills them with spear. He says get rid of them all. The bone. Life structures on the sponsorship and kill them. Song shouts on the group that the withdrawal of the withdrawal is that the leader of the sprites attacked the skeletons. No, the skeletons control the skeletons say Song says the bodies dictate the place. But I approached my limits. He attacks the leader of Galen Hanho, throwing the daggers on the leader, but the leader repels the attack. Hanho says, I have been able to repel the daggers. Senbei says, this is angry. So does he say, yes. He is angry with me. The Gulun leader attacks Hanho, who escapes and screams Song Senbei, saved me from the leader. The skeletons are helping Hanho and attack the Gailan leader, but he is hitting the skeletons. Yoon Jiso, the leader of the Gailan, is attacked by her sword. Very amazing, Yoon says. I was thinking that I could penetrate it. My shame. Senbei looked at Yoon's attack. These are the movements of Saif. Crazy. Such deadly coach strikes are waiting for a chance to pounce. This boy is not normal in any sense of the word. I must also move regularly. the skeletons are ordered to do a back attack, to attack it from the front, but it was not affected by a lot of attack. The leader of the Galen, who attacks them fiercely, Sinbei said to himself, at this rate, we will all die. We only need to hit him with one. He looks at the sword lying on the ground, saying that one is ideal, only to defeat it.